Hello. This is the third in my little series about pain. And having been in pain, good and proper pain, for a week now, it's not that I'm proclaiming myself the expert, but I am curious. And so when something's going on, I do like to investigate. And so I do seem to have some things to say about pain. So I am coming to the end of my little pain journey. It's nothing like as bad as it was. But what I want to say about it is that the body kind of goes into fear when it hurts and it wants to understand. So we look it up on the internet and we want to know what's going on, which is perfectly natural since pain could mean death. But once you know that you're not dying, like it's not that I think I'm really going to die from tooth pain, but my body starts flailing and then my energy system starts flailing around like, oh, who's in charge? Don't know who's in charge. And it just all starts panicking. So I've been sat here going, it's all right. And here's the pain now. It's moved to my jaw. TJM, that joint there. So I've been sitting with it and reassuring it that my being is here, that it's not alone. And that brings me to noticing how alone we usually feel. And that aloneness, like alone and in pain, and only I can address it. I'm the only one that can do something with my pain because I'm the only one who's experiencing it. But that alone place. Now, I've always been quite alone. As a kid, I was very alone for a lot of the time, but I never felt lonely. And people often talk to me about their loneliness. And that loneliness is simply an absence of you. It's not actually an absence of another. It feels like that because probably you've had others in the mix and now they're not there. You're not there either. But I do notice that the aloneness is not alone when it's more of an all oneness when we're actually with it, when we're with ourselves. We're just not used to being with ourselves. And pain can either bring us really, really, really into ourselves or take us really far out, as I said in the second video. So something I want to touch on here is the way we don't want to go through things. We want someone to take our pain away. We want a pill to do it for us. And we get almost indignant that we should actually have to go through something. Now, when something takes away our pain, it could be taking away the hugest opportunity for growth that we have. Going through the membrane of pain to the other side and finding that kind of ecstasy, that zuzz of life. That's what we meditate for. That's kind of what the whole spiritual journey is for, to be able to feel the other layers of life. And one way to get there is simply through focusing on our pain and coming out the other side. I feel that the biggest disservice that we humans do to ourselves is that we leave ourselves. We abandon ourselves at the drop of a hat. We'll abandon ourselves for a TV program. We'll abandon ourselves to agree with someone's opinion without even thinking about whether we agree. We'll abandon ourselves by taking the doctor's word for it, by taking the electrician's word for it. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have some faith in the people that we employ to serve us and to take care of us, but we do absolutely need to feel for ourselves what the truth is. So, for example, when I went back to my trauma therapist and asked him, was there a way that I could, did he have any suggestions for how I can process trauma? He told me to write down my feelings. And that doesn't really work for me. I know journaling does work for many, but it's just not my choice. And so I just sort of nodded along, okay. And then when he mentioned it again, I actually told him that it's not going to work for me. I don't like journaling. But if I'd have had a different type of personality, I might have gone, oh, journaling, that's a good thing. And then I might have thought there was something wrong with me because I couldn't do it. I might have thought that I needed to try harder and I needed to find my way with journaling. When actually it's just a preference. That's just not my choice. It's just not my way. So staying with ourselves. The thing that I have learned most clearly from this week's episode of pain has been to never, ever, ever leave my own side. Now, I'm not saying I necessarily manage that. I live in this world as much as you do, with distractions here, there and everywhere, and everything's pretty and shiny. But to stay with ourselves, to not leave our own side, to stay with ourselves every single step of the way. To me, that is presence. That is aliveness. That's what that's when we get to experience life, real life, all the different layers of life. So pain, whilst a fairly cruel teacher, a harsh teacher, it does get you to where it's trying to get you if you listen to it and don't cut class. Lots of love.